All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Proverb each and every day. I'm just going to keep changing the name. It's good to be back with you and at this once again. All right. Before we start, yeah, just a couple logistical things to re-announce. First off, we are doing a time of fasting. I'm basically inviting you in to view this with me. I'm trying to decide whether to do some additional things online. I know fasting is a scary thing, and it's hard to get into. And so I think with this first time, it's very likely that we'll have very few, if any, sign up. I'm just being blunt about that. But I'm still going to make the invitation. I'm still going to put this out there. So if you want to join me and have some times of private encouragement with me, I have a platform that'll allow that. So just click on this link, or I'm trying to put that in the description as well, if not in the comments, to join me for that, and we'll have a time of studying fasting together. But what I might do is have like a kind of a snarky, fun kind of like, can he survive 14 days of fasting kind of kind of adventure kind of thing, just to show that it's possible, not just talk about it. But anyway, let's get started with Proverbs today, and I'll get started as I do always with a time of prayer. So let's do that. Father God, thank you so much for another day, for it being Friday as I'm recording this, and we look forward to the time to come to rest and rejuvenate. But Father, for me, I thank you for the ability to do everything we're doing here. That I can basically invite an unlimited number of people into my house for a little bit of Bible study each day, and so I give you thanks for that. Just ask that you would bless the words of my mouth today. May they be uh, a blessing to those around us, and to increase the wisdom that we have. So, Father, we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So, what I'm going to do today is a little bit of a difference, but I'm going to take this from a scholarly standpoint here. Here we go. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start today actually back in Proverbs 7. So, if memory serves, or hopefully memory serves, we were talking about the seductress and that sort of thing. And so there's some things that we had highlighted a couple days ago that I want to bring out again. That I think it's a fascinating dynamic here, and I didn't want to miss this for today's study. So we talk about how the seductress looks for a single man, one solitary man, and says, I've got all the makings for a feast. Today I made my offerings, all my vows are paid. So I've come to find you. Where we highlight that. Hoping to catch sight of your face, and here you are. This is the voice of the seductress. All right. So we've seen that. He's called to a feast, right? So I want to start today with that reminder. And let's get into verse 9, or Proverbs 9, it's just chapter 9, Proverb 9. In the Message translation, Lady Wisdom gives a dinner party. Lady Wisdom has built and furnished her home. It's supported by 7 hewn timbers. A banquet meal is ready to be served. Lamb roasted, wine poured out, table set with silver and flowers. Having dismissed her serving maids, Lady Wisdom goes to town, stands in a prominent place, and invites everyone within the sound of her voice. Are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? Come with me. Oh, come, have dinner with me. I've prepared a wonderful spread. Fresh baked bread, roast lamb, carefully selected wines. Leave your impoverished confusion and live. Walk up the street to a life with meaning. Is that not just epically awesome that we have this dynamic going on? Um, I really want to take a moment here and break this apart a little bit because I think it's really a cool dynamic that we're greeted in a similar fashion, but there's some differences here. The seductress goes after one vulnerable man, one who's seeking his validation and is looking for it where he shouldn't be. Lady Wisdom, on the other hand, calls out to everyone she can find. But the call is the same. Come have dinner with me. You know, I've prepared a feast. Um, but it's but did you see the difference here about what this is? Fresh bread, fresh baked bread, roast lamb, carefully selected wines. This is a There's more thought that's gone into this as far as what this actually is than what the seductress has put forward. Yet the seductress thinks that it's great. Oh, I've prepared a feast. Oh, and also I've prepared my linens, and don't worry, I've made my sacrifices. We're good. That's what the seductress says. Wisdom is saying, I've, my, I'm ready to be served. I'm ready. I've already dismissed my maids. We've got the help we needed. We're prepared. It's not a impulsive thing we're doing here. This is a a call to those that are seeking, and that's what wisdom is. That's what wisdom does for us. It's not a single calling out one person and one person alone, and calling them into a secret meeting. No, this is a whole entire feast that's being prepared, and everyone is invited. I just I love that. I think it's really cool that we have that distinction. But the text goes on to some other things, and then it goes come right back to what I was talking about earlier. So let's get into this. This is so much fun. If you reason with an arrogant cynic, you'll get slapped in the face. Confront bad behavior and get a kick in the shins. Don't waste your time on a scoffer. All you'll get for your pains is abuse. But if you correct those who care about life, that's different. They'll love you for it. Save your breath for the wise. They'll be wiser for it. Tell good people what you know. They'll profit from it. I'll highlight that. Skilled living gets its start in the fear of God, insight into life from knowing a holy God. It's through me, Lady Wisdom, that your life deepens and the years your life ripen. Live wisely, and wisdom will permeate your life. Mock life, and life will mock you. Something just dawned on me. This is the feast. This is the banquet that's been prepared. That's amazing. It just occurred to me that the reason this is sectioned right here, right? Why it's right here is this actually is the a feast for us right here. It's a feast for me. Um, in my other life, I guess you could say, I have been um, uh, doing some things where I'm calling out a problem that I've been seeing in the field in which I work, information technology. For some time now, I've been seeing this, and I've been talking about it for about 2 years now, and I've started to be much more public about it. And that is that people in IT are facing a buildup of traumas that's starting to come out in some kind of scary ways, and so I'm trying to combat that basically. And you know what? I think maybe it goes without saying, but you can't state an opinion online without consequence, I guess you could say. And so I was surprised to find that I'm getting some dislikes and some comments about what I'm saying, which was actually a little bit of a surprise to me. I was like, oh, how can anyone like disagree with this? But apparently I'm just a millennial whiner, which is ironic. Maybe I just have a youthful face. I don't know. But I'm very much Gen X, just for the record. um, but it's this whole like, if you reason with an arrogant cynic, you'll get slapped in the face, confront bad behavior, and get a kick in the shins. And then don't waste your time on a scoffer. All you get for your pains is abuse. In other words, for me, I need to remember this that I need to, if I'm confronted with these things, it's just a matter of just letting it go. Um, just to doesn't even acknowledge, just continue on. That's not the path for me, because it leads just to more of that. Um, but I like this. If you confront those or correct those who care about life, that's different. They'll love you for it. Um, so again, it isn't saying be silent. It isn't saying hide away your wisdom. It's saying that you'll experience differences in the way that's responded to, I guess. So save your breath for the wise; they'll be wiser for it. Tell good people what you know; they'll profit from it. That's a good reminder to me to say, you know what, it's okay to do these things, but as far as like your breath, your effort, your life, save that for those that are truly um, yeah, truly appreciative of it and will actually benefit from it. So that's a an interesting notion for me this morning, I guess. Um, yeah, yeah. It's just this is a feast. I feel very full, but um, we have a problem, and that is that there's still another woman out there, um, and she's gone from the seductress, and now we're talking about the prostitute. So in verse 13, then there's this other woman, Madam Prostitute, brazen, empty-headed, frivolous. She sits on the front porch of her house on Main Street. As people walk by, minding their own business, she calls out, "Are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? Steal off with me. I'll show you a good time." No one will ever know. I'll give you the time of your life. But they don't know about all the skeletons in her closet that all her guests end up in hell. Let's go right up here. Oops. Sorry, I want to mark that in Lou. Come on. There we go. Are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? So Lazy Wisdom says, so what does the prostitute say? Are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? Hopefully you're seeing this. That is you got some distinctions here, but we have clues as to kind of who to follow, who to trust here. One is that she's obviously of a different mindset. We can tell that her words are different than wisdom. Um, she just sits there and is calling out to people as they pass by. As they're walking there, they're minding their own business. Are you confused about life? You want what's going on? Steal off with me. I'll show you a good time. No one will ever know. I'll give you the time of your life. In other words, instead of calling the masses all together, again, just like the seductress, she's trying to call out to one person and calling them in, and steal off with me. I'll show you a good time and that sort of thing. Um, are you ready for some bad news? The bad news is that the world is the prostitute. The world is trying to seduce us, and it's not trying to seduce us collectively. It is trying to seduce us individually. Um, if you look at the kind of things that are being put out there these days, what you're seeing a lot of is quite a lot of um, individual truth, as if that is even a thing. There is no individual truth. There's just truth. Yet that is the klaxon call that's out there. Oh, are you confused about life? Don't know what's going on? Just explore your truth. Explore your individual truth. That's what's actually happening, right? That's what we're seeing out there, and that's what we need to be aware of and combat it against, because it's lazy. It's just, it might be on the same street, but it's someone who's just sitting there and calling out lazily towards you and trying to seduce you away. And that is what the world tends to do with us. Is it tends to try and call us away from wisdom. It tries to call us away from the things that are right and true. And what's interesting to me about this is going through this process with y'all. And so it is one of those things where it's easy for me to to have those temptations to stop, to just say, no, this is a lot of effort. You know, why are you doing this? That sort of thing. Um, but that's really, do other things. This is just a waste of time. Nobody's going to like you. Why are you doing this? That sort of thing. And it's those calls out to things that aren't truly important. Um, Instead of having a missional focus of saying, you know what, the more you do this, the more people will come to expect it of you and will ask about it if you don't do it. Uh, that means more accountability. It's looking at that good of it, of saying that just for me alone, that's a good benefit. So for me to be able to just say, calling out in the streets for everyone to come, though, is where we see wisdom. And so I'm hoping that that is something that I am going to be doing more of as well, um, and remembering that it's important for me to invite everyone. Um, so yeah, so I do forget almost every time to say things like this, but do feel free to share these videos. It's not just me and you talking here. It doesn't have to be a one-on-one conversation. It can be something where you can feel free to share this if something is resonating and someone else can get something from it. By all means, you have my permission to share this with someone. In fact, I might even encourage you to do that, to just get right into it with them and say, hey, check this out. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's look at this together. That sort of thing. There's a lot of possibilities. But yeah, I just a lot of good today. A lot of goodness. I love geeking out about this stuff. If you can't tell, but also it's great to be able to run through these things. All right, so just a couple of these logistical things as we finish up for the day. First of all, like I mentioned earlier, let's put this back on the screen here for you. There is a time of fasting that I'm going to be going through, and I'm inviting you along for the ride. If you want to learn how to do this in a way that's actually practical, that you can actually not have to give up your day job, so to speak, you can actually survive it. I'll be teaching you my process and kind of getting you prepared for it. And so that is something that is coming up. So feel free to join me on that. Some additional resources in the comment section, but that sort of thing. But also just go ahead and sign up for that, and be starting. Well, basically, we're starting the process on Sunday night. Is the way this is going to work. But the process is to slowly ramp down into a time of fasting instead of shocking our bodies into fasting. That's just a way it's done, but that's the way the world does it. That's the way the seductress wants you to do it. Lady Wisdom doesn't want you to do it that way. Let's put it that way. That's not what we're really all about. The world we live in is there's a lot of things that are very different about what we eat. We eat and drink a lot of things that are basically meant to addict us. Coffee is one of them. I will admit, um, things that have more sugars in them than that are needed, but also just kind of permeate into everything we eat. And so there's a lot of things when it comes to that I think our approach to fasting has to be modernized a bit to where we have to say, you know, we need to take control of our bodies through our minds. Our minds need to be in control of the body. So when you're addicted to something, what's going to happen is that you are going to have this experience of having the body will say, hey, 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 we don't have this, we need it, and it will punish you for it. It'll make you feel tired, it'll give you headaches, make you grumpy. It'll affect your mood, it'll affect your concentration. It'll do everything it can to try and get you to put that back into your body. And this is where fasting is really important, that it is our mind saying no. We are in a time of discipline. We are going to take our lives and be truly ordered and caring about this. We're going to just be purposeful, and so that is a big thing. So fasting is a way for us to practice that, both in our body and our mind and our spirit. And so we do that. So that really is a key there. But in order to do that successfully, especially if you're just getting started with it and aren't as familiar and not as practiced with it, then it's really important to kind of ramp that down. Now, the reason I'm suggesting a juice fast for this one is um, largely because I've benefited from it in the past, and that's just kind of what I felt led towards doing this time around. But also because we need a bit of challenge. I know a lot of people just will do their time of fasting where they'll just, you know, not have coffee for a month or whatever, or things like that, which is noble enough. It's a good start. But honestly, what I find is you need to be challenging yourself in a fast. In fact, I've often taken to calling anytime I do fasting as a challenge. And so I haven't really branded this one that way, I guess you could say, but that really is the truth of the matter, is that we need to be people that are challenging ourselves and growing in that regards, and so that's why we do it this way. So bottom line is that part of the process is that ramping down of what we're consuming in a slow kind of way, so that our body is not uh, punishing us all at once. So in other words, like say for example, I decide to cut out coffee and let my body, suffer through that. I can do that one of two ways. I can just go cold turkey and just, deal with the headaches, or I can ramp downward and kind of deal with the lighter headaches that come from that, right? And so part of our process will be from Monday to Wednesday, ramping down things like that, but we're doing it all at once. We're saying, okay, let's do less coffee until we're down to none by Wednesday, and do less sugary things until we're down to none, less processed carbohydrates until we're down to none by that point. And so by taking even just 3 days, usually is very adequate. Now sometimes I will actually do a longer period, but I guess in my research and experimentation with this, I've been finding that it's not necessarily a good thing to spread that out too long, because you pretty much have just as much likelihood of kind of screwing up and yeah, quitting than you would of just going cold turkey into it. And so I find that like about a 3 day period is what tends to work best for me. So that's what I'm currently recommending. We'll kind of be just experimenting with this a little bit as far as that goes. And then, just being aware that the body will continue to want these things, but we're giving it other things instead, and we're giving it discipline, and we're feeding it what it needs. We're basically just using the mind to assure the body that no, you have everything you need. And as far as energy, if you're anything like me, you've got plenty of energy stored up. And if you're not like me, you don't have those fat stores and things like that. If you're, one of those people that are blessed in that regards, there's ways you can adjust what you're doing with juice to accommodate that, so that we're not shocking our body too much. And so that's one of the things we'll be talking about too. There's ways to to do that without any kind of damage or anything like that. And honestly, if you're um, on any kind of extreme or taking medications, things like that, these are the kind of things to talk with your doctor about. Don't assume that I'm going to give you any kind of medical advice or trust me just for that. I don't know your circumstance, so I can't speak to it. I can only tell you what's been working for me and let you explore that with me if you want to. So that's the way that works. But so, not a doctor, not giving medical advice. So yeah. So anyway, feel free to join us for that. We'll be starting next week, and I like I said, I will be probably likely doing some video content along that regards, along with all the other things that I'm doing lately. So it's just a lot of fun. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Actually, let me leave that on the screen for you. Um, we'll be seeing you tomorrow for another proverb. We'll be going through Proverb 10 in the message translation tomorrow. So see you at 8:30 Central Time if you want to join me live. Otherwise, obviously, I make these available for you. So enjoy. And in the meantime, be blessed by the best. Then just be a blessing to all the rest. And I love you guys. See you then.